Hi, so this year I'm trying to read a bunch of books and I can't sit still. So instead of reading, I've also been listening to a lot of audiobooks while I draw. I've been finding it kind of hard to decide what book I want. It's like I know what kind of story I'm looking for, but I don't know how to search it, right? It's like I'm looking for something thought-provoking that challenges my view of like life and existence, but I'm not looking for like philosophy, and I'm not always looking for nonfiction. And then I look up like books similar to other books that have made me feel that way, and one was like Tell Me an Ending. One was This Thing Between Us. I will maybe just do a video about those books. What I ended up doing is searching for books that were on like the best of list for whatever year that they came out. And that's how I found the book that I want to talk about today, because I just finished it, and it's called Second Place by Rachel Cusk. And the reason I, after going through like dozens of books, decided this was the one I wanted to read was because it's about an artist. And like I said, I've been wanting to listen to these while I draw, so it made sense. I was like, maybe this will like really get me immersed in my art, you know? It's like I just need like a really good story, because all these lines that I'm drawing, like sometimes I can get sleepy if I don't have something really good, because it is a little like you need a lot of precision, but once you've got it, it's very repetitive. It's really easy for your brain to just fall asleep. If you look at some of my work, you can definitely see like stipples, like my traditional work, obviously, where I can't undo it. You can see the parts where I started falling asleep. Like, I bet you can if you look for it. But anyway, so Second Place by Rachel Cusk. And all I knew about it from the little summary that I read was like this woman, she has like a guest house, and she periodically invites people to stay there to introduce some variety into her life. Like her daughter has grown up and moved out, and her and her husband are very like kind of introverted, so they just have people come stay to like spice things up a little bit. And so she invites like her favorite artist, and she thinks that like his way of seeing things, like his perspective on her life, will help her kind of find more meaning. And it was so interesting because from that I thought it was just going to be about like art's impact on life and audience, and it was a little bit of that, but it wasn't like all positive. And it was also about like boredom in marriage, and it was about motherhood, and it was about like monotony and like identity, like self-identity, and like comfort with sexuality. Like it went into so many topics without feeling like overwhelming or preachy, because that is something that I really try to avoid in books or movies that try to be thought-provoking. Like, I have to say, I really don't love shows like Black Mirror, where it's like, oh, have you ever thought about it this way? Like, have you ever even considered it? Like, yeah, I have considered it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want to be challenged and I want to think about things differently, but I don't want to be talked at. I want to be talked to. And I felt like, I feel like a lot. It's a bad habit. But this book really did such a good job making me think about things that I don't care, like I didn't think I cared about, in a way that made me think, oh, this is really interesting. Because I had passed over so many books where the plot was like a mother-daughter relationship, because I was like, dude, I have a mom, I am a daughter, I'm so not interested in reading about this at all. Like, I don't care. And then this book went into that a little bit, but in such a way where I was like, whoa, like I need to call my mom. Like, it was so good. And I would just really recommend it if you're someone who is interested in like the mindset of artist and audience, and like Oh, it was also just, I don't want to like spoil it though, you know, because I was about to say something that totally gives away. But there were things that like were unexpected about like the way that people interacted with each other. Something I really liked about it was the narrator. Like, she is not unhappy, but she is kind of bored. But it's not told in this way where you're like reading about a bored housewife. It's a little bit different. There were points where I was listening to it and I was like reacting out loud. But also, I had never heard of it. If you watch this and you've read it, or you have recommendations based on what I'm saying, let me know. Or if you want to read it and talk to me about it, let me know. Because what I'm realizing is there's no one genre that I like, and I'm not leaning towards fiction or nonfiction. It's kind of just like, I just want an immersive story that makes me think. And that's hard to look for. So I'm going to use this as like a record keeping thing too, because I have Goodreads, and that's been really satisfying for keeping track of things, but it's also making me think about all the great books I've read in the past that I probably have forgotten about. This is what I'm drawing. It's cute. You love it. I also like listen to music a lot while I draw, so that could be a whole other thing. But we'll focus on books. Okay, bye.